We're just getting ready for the flags. I'll be like, ooh. I know. Can't read that far away. Are we live? Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us at the Board of Trustees meeting for the Arts Academy Elementary Charter School. This is our May 2022 meeting. Adequate notice of this meeting has been advertised in the morning call as well as the school website, stating that this meeting will take place at 6 p.m. at 601 West Union Street, Allentown, PA, 18101, and on Zoom and YouTube. The Zoom registration link can be found on the AAECS website each Monday prior to the meeting. Is this really all I have to read tonight? I don't have to read like the whole thing?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Because I don't have it.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need it.
There's like 2 pages I have to read. That I've been doing for 2 years, and I should have it memorized by now. Please hold.
Alan is doing his role as board secretary.
I was like, this is awesome. It's only a paragraph.
Now we do it in the fall with
Here in front of me. Brent, tell him never mind. I'll just give you my computer. I can't think.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, okay, I won't worry about breaking the computer. Thank you. Yeah, Rosalie, she's on it. Okay.
I'm sorry, Jim.
This meeting is being held in person and online due to the COVID emergency. Although the governor has ended the emergency, the Arts Academy will continue to provide a safe mechanism for board members and the public to attend the meetings and participate. In order to accomplish that, we are holding a live meeting at the school, and we're also broadcasting the meeting over the internet, as we have done for the past year. The school's bylaws provide that board members may attend the meeting virtually as long as they are able to hear the other participants in the meeting and as long as they can hear the public comments. When the secretary takes the roll, he will note which board members are attending virtually. The meeting may be viewed by the public. We have made this meeting available to the public by a notice of the morning call and by an announcement on the school website posted on Monday prior to this board meeting. Copies of these notices will be attached to the minutes. The notices advise the public that this meeting may be viewed by joining the Zoom link posted on the school's website and via the school's YouTube channel or by attending the meeting in person. We have made provisions for public comment before, during, and after the meeting. Those who wish to comment and are attending virtually may comment by following the procedures outlined in the meeting notice and on the school website. Those who attend in person and wish to comment may do so by following the instructions in the notice and on the school website. If you have already submitted written comments, those comments were distributed to board members. As far as I know, we have not received notice that anyone wishes to comment during the meeting. I will verify that at the conclusion of this statement. If you wish to submit written comments after the meeting, you may do so by first-class mail addressed to J. Lynn Rosario, Board Secretary, Right to Know Officer, at 601 Union Street, Allentown, PA 18101, or by email address to jrosario@artsacademyecs.org. All comments must be about the subject on the agenda. All votes will be taken by roll call. We are using the record feature of Zoom to record this meeting. This link to access the recording will be posted on the school's website. If any members of the public send comments to us before the meeting, those comments will be added to the minutes. Board Secretary, did we receive any advance comments? Did anyone register to make comments during the meeting? Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, at this time, will you please take roll?
Amy Betts,
Present.
Rosalie Sabo,
Present.
Casey Gallagher,
Present.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Present.
Sally Ann Hanslick,
Present.
Linda Groff,
Zanetta, you're muted.
Okay, there we go. Present. Thank you.
Okay. Can we all please salute the flag? We have one right here. I don't know if you can see it, those on the call. That's pretend. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. I wrote this down.
We have to make one.
Okay,
Need a motion.
I make a motion to amend the agenda. That we have an executive session. Hanson will second. the motion.
Ansley, okay, seconded. Can we take it by roll, please?
Amy Best,
Approved?
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Handlick,
Approved.
Zanetta Groff,
Approved.
Okay, so now that we've amended it to add the executive session, I will have a resolution to approve the agenda.
Rosalie. The motion.
I'll second it. Grossman.
I roll. Approved?
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Approved.
Can you give it to the time, Zanetta?
Approved. I had to get my headset on. Struggling today.
I've asked Ms. Anslick to read our mission statement.
Mission. At Charter School for arts and creative education. All students have confidence and artistic expression by enriching their using the palette of our curriculum as a foundation for their future.
Thank you. Did everyone have time to look at the minutes? Oh. And were there any questions? Comments? Okay, if there's nothing, then I'll entertain a motion to approve board minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the board.
So Hanslick, motion. Can I have a second?
Gallagher.
I second that one. I got it.
Gallagher, second. And taken by roll, please.
Amy Best,
Approved.
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Handlick,
Approved.
Zanetta Groff.
Approved.
Wonderful. It appears that we do not have reports and announcements this month. So we're moving right along to the Chief Executive Officer recommendations.
This evening, before I begin, I would like to introduce to the board and other guests, Paul Hunter. He is the new Director of Charter Schools for the Allentown School District. And Paul, if you would like to make a comment or tell us a little bit about yourself, please feel free.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much. As Mr. Cavalli alluded to earlier, I do have a background in charter schools, very proud background in charter school experience. Former CEO for 7 Generations Charter School for 100 years, and also Director of Education for soccer area charter school. So I'm now part of the Director of Charter Schools, and looking forward to working with each of the charter schools that are here within the city and working side by side and making sure that we're offering quality choices, quality opportunities for kids. And I've already had the opportunity to come in a couple minutes, with and also Kamali and developing that relationship.
I will begin this evening with just a brief discussion about the audit contract was sent by the auditors. We have quite a bit of experience with them for services. So at this time, I would ask the board to approve a resolution to authorize me to sign the agreement with the auditors, and I will make sure that it's executed by them.
To be clear, this is something we've been doing, right?
Yes, this is
This
the way
is the same thing we've been doing. So Would someone like to make a motion that Mr. Cavalli can sign the general insurance and liability renewal? Is that it? Oh. So we need to do it later.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The resolution is under new business.
Yep,
So
got it.
I just was making the board aware of my request, that resolution.
Yes.
The second item is the liability insurance, the directors and operators insurance, and our workers' compensation insurance every year is renewed. I'm sorry, every 3 years in June. The last 2 years, we have not had to renew the insurance. I simply notified in our third year of that existing policy. I am expecting in June to get the new policies from the insurance company, which is Cincinnati. We are expecting at this time a slight increase in liability and directors and operators insurance. And we are expecting a reduction in workers' compensation insurance. The net effect will be about a wash probably financially, but I won't know until I get the final documents. Because of what happens in the past, what we have done is we get them in the middle to late June, and they have to be executed prior to July 1st. For the board to approve the insurance. So what I will do is when I receive the summary page of all the insurance liability coverage and the cost, I will send that to the board. And tonight I will just ask the board's permission, verbal permission to authorize me to sign the insurance document so that there's continuity of coverage, and there will be a resolution on the June board meeting approving the insurance coverage for the next 3 years. And I'll have all those details as soon as I get to June. Just asking for verbal permission from the board to sign when they arrive.
Rosalind, it's good?
Yes.
I approve it. Sally? Angela?
Yes, yeah, I approve.
Zanetta?
I approve.
And Casey?
Yes, I approve.
Okay, then I will move to something that occurred. There were a few suspensions of the requirement go to public bid for your food service agreements because of the pandemic. But we are now, this year, we had to go to public bid, and the process changed quite a bit. It was pretty extensive and placed a few more burdens on these food service providers. So Brandon, Dan, and I reviewed the state's requirements to put food service out to bid. And I'll let Brandon walk through the process. Brandon will do a brief overview of the process. And then we will let you know what the result is, and I will make a recommendation for you, ask Amy if she would read the resolution. So first we'll go with Brandon.
Before I get started, Mr. Fennick had asked, he is having some trouble hearing some of us. So when we're speaking, if we could just kind of direct our speech towards the front here, I think that would be helpful. And for future meetings, we ordered some new technologies. It's like more professional microphones. So as long as we continue doing this, greatly improve the quality of sound for our virtual attendance.
Thank you, Brandon.
Sure.
Suggestion was online. If at any point you can't hear, would you just raise your hand?
Sure.
You can see. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, like Al said, back in 2016, I took us out to bid for a food program here. We had been buying food from the Allentown School District, and it was not great. So I got the school recognized as a National School Lunch Program sponsor, and the process it was a lot of work, but it was nothing like what had happened this year. So it seemed like the state really wanted to get involved in the process, and this is kind of what it looked like. Any Pennsylvania school enrolled in the National Lunch Program with an annual program value, which is required to go out to bid every 3 years using the federal formal procurement process. We were, like Al said, scheduled to do this in 1920, but used 2 annual extensions to get us up to where we are now and continued our agreement with Linton's Food Service. The formal procurement process requires us to advertise in 2 local newspapers, which we did, Easton Express Times and Morning Call, and then send out direct invitations to 3 vendors. We did 5 just because I wanted to be safe. And then hold a public bid opening where the sealed bids are open and reviewed. We received only 1 bid from Linton's Food Service Management Company. We had advertised that our public bid would be May 24th at 10 a.m., which we held. Mr. Cavalli, myself, and Mr. Fennick did the public opening. And after the Arts Academy Board reviews the proposal and approves it, we are required to submit that to the state for their final approval from the Bureau of Fiscal Management. Once that happens, then a copy of the agreement would be sent to both the school, and because Linton's was the only vendor that we received a bid from, they would see the other half of this, and we can enter into a formal agreement. So that's pretty much the bid process.
Might be important for the board to remember that Linton's is the current food service provider, so that you're familiar with them and know that they do a good job.
Over the last 5 years now.
I will hand the item on to you.
Okay, now everyone saw the attachment, right? Come through, okay.
I should note, sorry, Amy, I should note that those are estimated numbers based off of what we anticipate. Based on enrollment, we've seen some changes in the food program this year. Many more students are eating breakfast than lunch. Usually it's the exact opposite of that. So, like I said, these are based on estimated numbers. The program likely may go down from where it is, but we wanted to be safe.
Can I ask a related question? Are they having problems procuring the food? I've heard there's a problem nationwide.
There have been some menu changes. Okay. Yeah. Nothing. We've established a very popular menu, and luckily those staple meals. Yeah, we haven't seen much.
Okay, so I can read this correct. Be it resolved that Litton's Food Service Management is awarded a contract to purchase vendor meals for the 2022-23 school year. The CEO and the food service director shall ensure that the agreement between the Arts Academy Elementary Charter School, School for Food Authority, and Litton's Food Service Management vendor is executed by both parties. Final acceptance of this bid is subject to approval by the PA Department of Education. The agreement and notification of board approval shall be sent to the Bureau of Project and Fiscal Management by the food service director. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
I Rose can make a motion that we approve the contract.
Okay, can we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Hanslick, second. And can we take it by roll, please?
Amy Best,
Approved?
Rosalie Sabo,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Hanslick,
Approved.
Zanetta Croft.
Approved.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I will hand the principal's report over to Mr. McCollum.
Again, I hope you can hear me. Thank you, Mr. Cavalli. So to start off, we have wrapped up PSSA testing for reading, math, and science, and I am thrilled to say we have 100% participation. That is a credit in particular to Mr. Krajcik, our assistant principal, who led that whole process, and of course, all the teachers that chased the students down and made sure we got the makeups in if they were absent. So definitely very proud of that. We were already, even when we were remote, we were sitting about a 36% of participation rate. And I noticed that a lot of the surrounding districts had single-digit numbers because of obvious reasons. 36% is not something that we would normally be proud of, but in comparison, we were able to get the students in here and to get them tested. It was also interesting because the state did not count that percentage if students were enrolled past a certain time, and they didn't count that percentage for participation if they were not your student in the previous year. So again, it was low, but it was much higher than the other schools. So we were striving for 100%, and we hit that. So really proud. and we're really optimistic about our performance. I can tell you that we are, testing also internally with our iReady benchmarks. We test the students 3 times a year. So we are wrapping up the reading, and we are already seeing some really wonderful growth, which is very exciting as well. It's been a challenging year. It's not like the pandemic ended and everything's just fine, So our title team in particular, and all of our teachers engaged in training, professional development, how best to teach the students. And I'm looking at our, initial scores. We're still wrapping up some of that testing, but we are seeing appropriate growth, and then stretch growth is what the term iReady uses for students who were behind, and they might have expected them to get to a certain point based on their pattern of progress, but stretch growth means that they're approaching grade level from being behind. So really optimistic about that. On the social aspect, we have been, continuing with our. So we took the kindergartners to the imagination play area where they role play indoors, and they just loved it. I've never been there. We were struggling to find a kindergarten trip because they typically do the fall. They go to the farms and do the apples and whatnot. But they absolutely loved it. It was right up our alley. They got to dress up. They were firemen. They were working in the grocery store. They were vets, and it was really, really adorable. So I think that's going to be a trip that we're going to continue. 4th grade went to Crystal Cave, and of course we had a tornado threat that day. We did bring them back early. I was a little panicked because we did get some districts saying, "Oh, we're going to be here at 12:30, and the trip is due back at 12:15." But they went through everything, kind of blast. We went to Zollner Arts Center in Bethlehem to see Matilda, put on by the Pennsylvania Youth Theater. And 5th grade went to Franklin Institute on Monday. And we had the other 5th graders also went to the Liberty Museum. They walked over to the church right over, a block over. We are taking our 1st graders to see the pipe organ at St. James Church. So that's on South 5th Street. It's the largest pipe organ on the East Coast. So they're proud of that. And we were supposed to go this week, but they weren't feeling well over the church. So we're going to walk over next week. Just love being able to get the students to engage in the arts right here in our area. Is really exciting. We've also been going to the to Christ Lutheran Church for rehearsals, which was nice. When we first put on Lion King, we did not get to the church until the day of the performance. It was a little challenging to say the least, but this time we have 5 different dates that we are going bused over to the church to engage those rehearsals for Willy Wonka. So we did one last week, and I was like, almost to tears. It's just amazing to see them pull it off, and it's such hard work from all the arts team to coordinate 150 students in this performance.
What are the performance dates and times?
June 7th and June 9th.
And what time?
6 o'clock. I'm actually just getting ready to send out the tickets, so I'll make sure that you get that link. It's going to be amazing. I'm thrilled. We also had 2 showcases, 1st grade and 2nd grade. We were able to bring the parents in. As you know, we've shrunk in this cafeteria area for this creative movement space, so I was a little anxious about that, but everybody fit, and they did a great job. It's really nice to have parents in the building again. And we have kindergarten coming in tomorrow for donuts with donuts. So that will be with them in the classroom. So very normal stuff. Just brings back a different energy to the building to have these things going on. So really excited about that. And I think enrollment. Something that we're doing differently this year is we are enrolling students, registering them now. So normally we open up the wait list, we do the information sessions, and then we start registration in June. I had talked to Al about it, said, is there a reason why we wait till June? We know we could get some additional students in, but there's no reason to wait. So Mr. Gabala gave us the go ahead, and enrollment is tremendous. This time last year, we had 102 families interested. We have 172 at this point. We're getting anywhere between 4 and 5 a day lately. Our numbers already for next year, we have more students registered for kindergarten this year than we do registered for next year than we do currently this year. We are full in first grade, second grade, and fourth grade. And right now we can only accept students in kindergarten, third and fifth that are outside of the Allentown district area. We've enrolled students up for the CAP, and we still have additional students in Allentown on the wait list. Those are the applications that we're receiving the most. But right now, we have 461 students registered for next year if you take out the fifth grade. So that's exciting to see. And I'm going to be announcing to those families that we're going to have kindergarten screening on the last day of school for staff to get them in sooner and let them see the building. So it is a lot. We are planning for graduation and field day. Those are also very big events, squeezing it all into the end of the year, but it's exciting. And the kids are a little wild, but we're doing it to them, so we can't be upset. A lot going on, very good stuff. Great, thank you so much.
I wanted to say thank you. Those great shows. Well executed. Students were so cute. They were just adorable, well behaved. Everything was so organized. It ran so smoothly.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really a pleasure to hear.
We can't hear Sally.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm saying thank you. I attended the first grade showcase, and it was well executed. The students were wonderful. They did a great job. Everything was very well organized, and it's just really diligent.
At this point, we'll move on to Mr. McCollum's Middle States update.
So right now, we're all about the performance. You know, we've talked about the curriculum work picking up in the summer, but you know, our goals are reading and math performance. So we're going to be utilizing these scores.
For Paul's benefit, he's not aware of our Middle States status.
So we started the Middle States application when I was hired, right before I was hired in 2018. And in 2021, we achieved Middle States status, and they actually approved us for a 7-year full accreditation with no recommendations. There were no concerns. A real pride point for us as well. We were fortunate to have the support of our board who has experience with Middle States, and achieved that while we were virtual going through the pandemic. So it's a nice little feather in our cap, I can say that.
Next is policies, and at this time, we don't have any new policies. We do have some issues maybe with possible revisions to our wellness policy. Crystal and I are researching that with the state. And in addition, we're looking at some of the nuances related to special education, the way we deliver the service here. We think we're fine, but we're going to just take a look at that, get some verification from the state. And if we have recommendations, we will submit amendments to the wellness policy to the policy committee. And we'll look to vote on that in August board meeting. But right now, there's nothing to recommend. And at this point, I will hand the May personnel report over to Mr. President.
We have a resolution to approve the hiring of Colleen Cost, the 5th grade long-term substitute teacher, effective May 2nd, 2022, and Jawan Foster, arts support teacher, effective May 2nd, 2022.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make
I'll
the
make a
motion.
motion. Go ahead, Angela,
I'll make the motion to approve the new hires.
and I'll second that.
Great. And can we take it by roll, please?
Amy Best,
Approved?
Rosalie Saba, approved. Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Hanslick, Zanetta Groff.
Approved.
And Next, I have the notification of resignation of Nicole Krieger, special education, effective May 9th, 2022.
Any questions from anyone? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the personnel report.
I'll make a motion that we approve the personnel report.
And Hanson will second that motion.
And can we please take it by roll?
Amy Best,
Approved?
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Hanslick, Janetta Groff.
Approved.
At this time, I will hand the Finance Committee report over to Mr. Gallagher.
The Finance Committee met in advance of this meeting and reviewed both the monthly financials as of April 30th, the report, as well as the check detail and other documents. The finances continue to be strong. We are showing our overall variance is showing a slight deficit at the moment, but we believe we will end the year still in a strong position, possibly with a small surplus. There were no things in the financials that were out of line or questionable. Continue to be, very strong numbers, and very happy to see the numbers continuing in a positive manner. So unless there were any questions, I would like to make a motion to approve the financials as of April 30th.
I second that motion, Rosalie Sabo.
By roll, please.
Amy Best,
Approved?
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Hanslick,
Approved.
Janetta Groff.
Approved.
And that's it for finances.
Anything else, Mr. Cavalli? Good, okay. So it appears that we do not have old business this month, and public comment, no one has submitted. So we'll move on.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you need to approve the contract with the auditor tonight? I missed what was said earlier. I know it was brought up earlier.
Under new business, I think.
It's under new business.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. So guess what? It's time for new business. You kind of stole my thunder.
I'm suggesting you look at the auditor's proposal under new.
Okay, are there any questions about the annual contract?
And I just note I reviewed it. It's the standard contract that they provided for us previously. So I'd recommend that it be approved.
If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the, oh, sorry, the PDF went away. Hold on, I have to get back to it. To approve the, the annual contract for the auditors for a base fee of $7,500.
I'll second that.
And take it by roll, please.
Amy Best,
Approved.
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Casey Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Sally Ann Hanslick, Janetta Groff.
Approved.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to make a motion to move into executive session, but we'll have to ask some of our guests to leave us, please.
Paul, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. My plan is to be here 5 months because executive education has their board meetings. So I'm going to an executive next year. So thank you. Thank you very much. All right,
Just a reminder, we'll have a meeting in July.
awesome. All right. All right, take care, buddy. Thank you.
My true CEO is coming.
Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to.
I can't hear you.
Rosalie makes a motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Okay, and can we take it by roll, please?
Amy Best,
Approved.
Rosalie Saba,
Approved.
Tracy Gallagher,
Approved.
Angela Sigley Grossman,
Approved.
Dalian Hanslick, Janetta Groff.
Approved.
Okay, can I ask where the microphone is? Is it on that cart? Can we bring the cart this way? Is there enough table?
Yes.
Maybe it'll be easier for them to hear.
Yes, they just
I'm going to leave and go to the